We really enjoyed our conversation with Beth and Riki Hill from the Hills on Tour about our failures, but we also stuck around and talked about some of our hopes for the year to come. So, apologies again, the video quality and the audio isn't fantastic, but it's still a very interesting watch. So, here we go.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello, what are you most looking forward to?
So in the summer, we're going to a campsite that has a big water park.
We are. Oh, that's the plan, isn't it? In France.
Southwest
wow.
France.
Yeah.
That should be really nice.
So that's your hope for the year is for us to get there.
Come on, Boris, don't shut anything down.
Yeah.
Come on, Boris, or you'll be on a naughty list.
I think you've got lots of people on your side with that one as well.
Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
So we've lost Ella. But, that doesn't mean I'm not keen to hear your hopes for this year. So
Spain.
Oh yeah. So I
Spain,
guess it's linked to Ella's really is that the sort of European travel is our hope. So we did a quick, well, it wasn't really quick, but we did a dart across to Germany in September, which was the first time we'd been on the tunnel full stop ever in any vehicle,
right.
And also the first time we'd been in our motorhome. So it was kind of a couple of firsts really, and we were just so blown away with how simple, even in COVID times, but how simple everything was, that we literally can't wait now to get back across. So we've got 2 weeks down to Spain planned for June,
May, June, yeah.
May into June. So yeah, we just got one of our hopes is that that is possible and everything remains doable, and hopefully by May, June time, that should be the case that we can travel.
My parents might be doing that at the same time. I have to get them to keep an eye out for you.
Yeah.
Little wave.
Yeah. Well, we've the Northerns on tour are joining us as well. So we're going to do a little
Convoy.
2-van convoy down to just to northern Spain, because we don't want to spend the whole time driving and traveling. But so we're going to go down pretty quick and back pretty quick, just to break back of the drive.
But we want to see France as well, because we've never stayed in France in the motorhome before. So
we want to make sure we end up with probably, out of the 14 days, 9 days down there. Maybe take 3 days to go down and a couple of days just to blast back up again. But yeah, so our first hope is for
European travel.
Which kind of brings me nicely onto my hope, which is basically European travel, but slightly earlier than you. So we've booked, we booked the tunnel and nothing else for February half term.
Wow!
So that's like the last week in February.
It's a gamble.
And yeah, we don't know.
And the last time we used the Eurotunnel with the motorhome, it was a 10-hour wait.
Yes, we've watched your video of that as well.
That.
We've watched you.
Really unlucky.
Yes, that was
diabolical.
It was diabolical, but it was much better for being in a motorhome than being in a car, because I cannot imagine doing that with 2 kids in a car. That would have been horrific.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one good thing about having your motorhome, isn't it? If you do get delayed anywhere, you've got your house with you, and you've got something to do. You can food, you can use your toilet, you can do whatever kind of. So but making the best of a bad situation is probably about as good as it's going to get, isn't it? So are you just planning to stay in France for that time, or are you going
so we're only going for a week, because it's half term. We're thinking about going towards the kind of Le Mans area, so reasonably north, but that kind of west coast side of things. We haven't been over there. We're told that there's good wine. I mean, most of our trips are driven by alcohol. So, our trip to France that you're referring to was really aiming to go around the Champagne region, which we really loved and was amazing.
Yeah.
But this is kind of more of a kind of white wine area, I think, more than anything.
Very good.
Again, very educational for the children.
Yeah, they get to learn a lot about making alcohol. Give us your next one then.
Well, sort of looping back to what we said before about this being very much a bought, not built van, we actually do want to do some upgrades and amendments, don't we?
Yes.
Riki did the Wi-Fi on our old van, but this one actually came with it. But there are a few sort of slightly Now this is our forever van, some slightly bigger scale upgrades that we want to do.
Yeah.
So the first one is going to be installing gas flow, rather than the sort of tanks that you have to swap over.
Yeah.
We're always running out of gas at the most inconvenient moments, aren't we?
Well, the two issues with the standard Calagas bottles. Have you got the standard Calagas bottles?
No, we went straight with Gaslow.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you'll be aware is that when they run out, there's no auto changeover, and it always runs out in the middle of the night. Of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So you just wake up to the beeping of your fridge and everything else going, right, no gas, especially when you're not on site.
Off grid.
So that's the first thing, and then the struggle to get the exchange and the exchange for full bottles just seems to be becoming more and more problematic.
And the cost long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's shortages, aren't there, of gas?
Yeah, and we're in Swindon, so there's nowhere that I can find in Swindon for pretty much the whole of last year that would have any gas. Where we bought a motorhome from before, the dealership's got two sites, one of which is in Swindon, which ironically we didn't know about when we bought it. We bought from the other site.
That's a whole other story.
down the M5 in Somerset, and but then we found out there's one on our doorstep. We're like, oh, okay. So early on, they were just reserving any gas they had for their own customers, which luckily we were a customer of their business. And then after that, they just had nothing. So we now have to travel to a small little village, weirdly, a good bit of time. I mean, it's probably well over an hour round trip just to get a bottle of gas. And then the cost of that as well. So we knew we wanted to do it, but we also knew our last van wasn't going to be a van we'd keep for too long. So we didn't see the point in doing it. So we've now swapped vans, and we plan to keep this like Beth says for quite some time. So next Monday, hopefully, that will be happening.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And you're going to do the installation, are you, or are you paying someone to do it?
No.
Don't trust him for a minute.
Right. I'm not going to do the installation, but the van needs to go back to where we bought it for, just for a couple of bits and pieces. When we bought it, there was a couple of things that needed doing, and because like everyone's story, you hear delay for parts. And so when we went to go and get it, they were quite honest and they've been great. They just said, look, there's a couple of bits we haven't got. So you've got two options. We can keep the van, wait till we get them, or take the van and just come back when they're in. So we took the van, and they're going to be in for next Monday. Well, they're in now, but they're booking us in for next Monday. So I said, give us a quote for the gas flow system. And if it wasn't stupid, and it wasn't, it was a decent quote. So I just said, right, you've got the van for the day, just do that at the same time.
Yes.
So
gas flow. Our hopes, not this year, but it would also be self-leveling system eventually to have that chock issue removed. And we have also ordered some e-bikes.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
For Europe, so that we can get out and about. And
the other thing as well, actually, which we haven't got on there, but we talked about before, and I don't know if you've seen it, there's a chemical you can put inside your tyres. It's a gel. And some of the other guys have had it done. I think the Travel Trolls got it done. And we met up with the guy at the Shepton Mallet show, actually, that you didn't come to.
That we failed to get to.
That
failed to stay at.
Which referring back to the fail video before. But and the guy there was spot on, and we did a deal with him. If we got a number of vehicles, so like our motorhome, our car, our daughter's car, our son's car, he was going to do us a really good price. But basically, you'll never get a puncture, and it keeps your tyres at the right PSI all the time. So, and the thought of like in the car, Beth never getting a puncture, so being stuck at the side of the road.
I'm quite good at getting punctures.
Yeah,
I had 3 last year.
And the guy it's really clever. The guy had the wheel, and he was literally stabbing it with a screwdriver repeatedly as it was rotating over and over, and it was maintaining pressure, and it will last the length of you. And it also increases your tyre life because you're constantly at the right pressure.
And they're only based around Swindon as well.
Yeah. So we've got another one of those weird ones.
We'll get that done as well.
Got talking to the guy, and he's down the road. So he said, if I can come to your premises and do a few vehicles to make it worth his while, you'll do a really good price. So that's maybe another upgrade we'll do.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Nice.
Didn't know about that one. So that's a very good one.
I'm thinking my car could do with that. Shall I do Remy?
Yeah, go on then.
I'm not going to wake him up again because he looks really cozy. We're hoping to get his passport. He is now a French citizen.
Oh,
Remy is a French dog. We had to do a lot of paperwork when we last went to France to get it done, and it was a proper pain in the bottom.
right.
With me trying to remember all the language and the vocabulary to do it. And we now got him registered with the right sort of bureau in France, and he's now registered as a French citizen.
Monsieur.
Now I need to just take him bonjour.
Yeah.
Take him to the vet and get his little passport, which will be really exciting. And it was
That'd be much easier for travel.
So there's an admin side to it, and then there's a cost side to it. So when we took Remy with us in our last trip, you have to get this animal health certificate, which for us costs £140, and it's only for one trip. So it basically we can't take him for like a short weekend to France. It doesn't make sense. If we can get it, then it would be useful. It would save the money, but then it does also save the admin as well.
Yeah.
So with that passport, what do you have to do? Anything, or can he just travel with you straight?
He can just travel. Then I think he still has to have the worming tablets on the way back. But basically, he. One of the things that was quite interesting was over Christmas, when France said we'll let French nationals in.
Yeah.
I was wondering whether or not I could hold Remy up and say,
yes,
he's just travelling with his family. He's bringing his family with him.
So he gets to go, and you can just tag along.
Exactly.
So rather than you taking the dog on holiday with you, the dog's now taking you on holiday with him. Yeah. That's fair enough.
essential travel. Yes. So European travel related again. My kind of hope for this next year is that I can build my confidence driving this motorhome, being over a metre longer than our previous motorhome. So we are over 9 meters now, but it's okay because
that's tall, not length.
but it's okay because Ricky's already pranged the tow bar. So
right, no, I didn't.
Yes, you did, and it's on camera. So Ricky's already pranged the tow bar parking, so that's okay now. So if I bump anything, that's all right now.
It's no longer pristine. So
exactly, yeah.
Hang on, it has to be some sort of scale. So because I may have scrape the tow bar doesn't mean we can write the van off now because it's okay.
I didn't write the last van off. I just clipped the wing mirror.
Yeah, so
I'm going to piggyback on that one. I'm going to piggyback on your hope, and I'm going to do a bit more driving than I currently do.
Yeah.
I am much happier in the passenger seat.
I think for us, I'm much happier driving, and not because of I don't like Beth driving. I just get bored.
It's also if you do want to get down through France, then actually sharing up some of the driving probably does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that'll be fun. I didn't drive in Germany, but we didn't drive much, did we? Once we camped up, we just stayed there. So
I always remember Beth saying we because we did from home to Germany and back in each way in a day.
Wow.
So it's like 5 countries, and we left Germany the site we were on. We had to move our van outside of the site the night before because there was a barrier that wouldn't open early enough. Right. And then at 5 a.m. we left the site, and everyone we speak to, Beth always tells a story of how easy the drive is.
It's ever so easy. It's really quick.
She was asleep the whole way, literally. Literally,
I woke up for the tunnel for you to miss the turning for the.
I constantly hear Beth telling the story of how easy the drive is. And it couldn't have been easy.
No.
I was sat there through country after country, and it was when there was a fuel crisis here, so constantly refueling just to make sure that we didn't get home with no fuel. Slept through the lot.
It's a great journey.
Yeah.
So this links back to the other video with your rowing story, and Beth's perception of rowing is
yeah.
No hassle.
It's very, very interesting, isn't it, on your perception of things, as to your viewpoint and your involvement in those tasks.
Definitely. But I'm completely like you, Ricky. Jen has driven this van once
for an hour,
and it's not because exactly like you. I just sat there and was just like looking around the van. It's like got nothing to do. And I tried
work. I know.
Yeah,
I quite often work.
Jen will work for a few hours, which works quite well, and I don't know, I quite like it. So, but if we do want to do a longer journey, it does make sense to split it up. So I think that's a good idea. Would you like to share your big hope for the year?
Yeah. So it's a France one again, but it's in Easter. So we're staying at a gîte in the van. So we're going to be outside with my granny and grandpa, and my cousins are going to be in the gîte sleeping there. And the gîte's got a pool, a game room, trampoline.
Oh wow!
Quite a lot.
Cycling, all sorts of activities.
Yeah, and I'm quite looking forward to that.
So big family getaway with the extended family, and
that sounds awesome.
Really
sounds like a lot of fun.
So,
who knows? You might be able to get a night babysitting.
So that's
you can do that. It's free babysitting.
April. Is Easter early April?
It moves every year.
I think it is this year, isn't it?
It's kind of mid-April.
Mid-April.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're basically, if February doesn't happen, hopefully April happens, and if April doesn't happen, maybe August will happen.
Good. And in an ideal world, of course, it's all going to happen. So let's hope that's the case.
That's the plan. Yeah.
But if we've learned anything, it's that you need to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one thing is with a van is you can be flexible. It's the perfect solution, really, isn't it?
So if on any of these trips, if it doesn't work out, will you just substitute it for something in this country?
Probably.
Yeah. And probably make it up as we go along, or as far as possible.
Maybe with a little bit of a plan, because if
I threw my toys out the pram.
Jen found our Devon trip with no plan difficult.
Horrendous, I think the word was. Stuck in the middle of the car with just rain and the mist coming in. And it was like, we can't really leave the van because it's chucking it down. Really super windy and no civilization.
This is about hopes. This is about hope.
Sorry. But I think with the plans, it's partly about food as well. So one of the problems we had in Devon was that we had our backup food and we'd eaten it. And it's like, what are we eating tonight?
We had the cassoulet, and then it was like, what do we have now?
Yeah, the cassoulet was good.
Cassoulet was good though.
Have you come across cassoulet? It's like a meal in a can that you can get in France, but it's nice. So it's like beans and chicken, or sometimes duck, those sort of things, and it's a really hearty casserole in a can, but that's actually tasty. So it's really handy to have one in the cupboard, just in case your plans fall through or whatever, so that you've got a meal. Top tip of the day.
What have we got? One thing we're really hopeful for that doesn't involve foreign travel is just more meetups. So that evening we spent with you at the Camp Creator, we always talk about as just one of the impromptu, just great meetups we had. So more meetups. And hopefully just we've talked about Van Life Eats. There's the did you do the Overlander show?
No, we haven't been to that one.
It's really, really good. It's a really good. There's something for everybody. There's loads of things for the kids. You got the huge, great, big, massive trucks that travel the globe. You've got huge American RVs that are just, I don't even know how they get them there. They're just massive with the slides that come out. You've got lots of groups. You've got like the VW clubs and all sorts. And there's stalls. There's music in the evenings. There's lots of food. It's really good. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, and they do have literally right down to sort of motorcycles and tents, motorhomes, and then up to the big overlanders and the RVs. So everybody that loves camping is welcome. The
guy that started it, the whole premise is it's all inclusive. So it doesn't matter whether you've just got a tent that you've just bought for 30 quid from Go Outdoors, or whether you've just spent £500,000 on a great big American RV. It's all inclusive.
Yeah, and it's two shows in one. So it's the International Campervan Show and the Adventure Overland Show together.
Right.
So yeah, really good. Really good.
Yeah. So there's normally two. There's the early sort of spring one, and then the late summer one. So they're worth doing as well.
We'll have to get those in the diary.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure they're in the diary. Otherwise, we end up booking other things.
yeah, that's the trouble. I mean, it does get to a point where
it's the beginning of June.
There's so many shows.
So we're going. Yeah, we're going there, and then actually we're going to Spain. So it is June. Yeah.
Yeah, we go straight from that show to Spain.
Oh wow!
Awesome.
So last year on the late one, we went from that show to Germany.
Right.
So yeah, so they're just so our hope is just more meetups with people like yourselves, with common interests. Just the meetups, the impromptu, even we sat outside with you. Yeah, that wasn't planned. Ended up having a bit of a chat and still having a chat and.
Yeah, but let's just remember we did finish at 7:30 when he went to bed.
I was going to say
7:30.
7 o'clock. We went off and found all tucked up in bed by 7:30.
Yeah. So exactly. So but yeah, so that's one of our hopes anyway.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that's very good.
Is it just me?
I think it's just you, Jen.
Just me. All of ours seems to be about our trips that we're planning.
Yeah.
Because I want to go to Henley. There's a really nice site there that has a swimming pool, which we ought to book before putting this video out, because otherwise it'll be fully booked. But there's a really nice site that's got a heated pool, and I quite fancy that.
Yeah, Henley's not too far from us either, so it's a good one for a weekend. So yeah. And we're going to do that for your birthday, are we?
Yes, for my birthday, which has become the annual birthday trip, is to go somewhere local. And,
I don't know if mine's going to be dramatic, because we went to Blackpool.
Yeah, we did go for Blackpool for your birthday, but this year your birthday's around the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah.
So you being Jubilee James, so he gets an extra bank holiday.
Nice.
Very good. But having the site's not too far from obviously lots of our talk has been about the long distance sort of European travel, but those ones close home are also really good.
Having a local place is a good place. It's really useful to just have somewhere to pop in, and particularly with James and Ella, they tend to have things at weekends they want to do. So James does a lot of swimming.
Well, that means we can still take him to swimming.
So if you go away on a Friday night and a Saturday, we can still get him back for swimming on a Sunday and have a bit of a getaway. So I think we might be on your final hope for the year.
Our final hope was just around the channel, really, and just I think we learned a lot last year about our YouTube channel and sort of Instagram and that business, and I think we reached a nice level this year where it is for fun, it's for enjoyment, making good quality vlogs that we enjoy, and if other people enjoy them too, that's brilliant. But sort of really just keeping it fun and collaborating with lots more people like yourselves, and just making good quality vlogs.
Yeah, just learning. I mean, it kind of started for us in lockdown, just to learn something and not just watch the weeks roll by when we couldn't go anywhere. And then you start to think, actually, like most things, I just want to be quite good, not for anybody else, not because I want to have 1 million subscribers, but I just want to learn. So we both I started to learn about editing, never having done it before, sort of shared with you, you then love it, and now you do it all. Now I don't do it all. So so just to get back into that and kind of just develop our skills, really.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
But whilst maintaining that it stays fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, I must admit it's really nice looking back at old videos and kind of going, oh, do you remember when we did that? And especially when he gets all arty with his fancy drone footage and things like that. It's a nice record of trips, experience.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why we started doing it for Best Mum, to see where we're going, and that's the sole purpose of doing it. And we just need to. It's easy to get caught up in the whole kind of YouTube and analytics and whatever, but just remind ourselves, actually, we're doing it for Best Mum. And we just happen to have got quite interested in doing it along the way, really.
Yeah. And it is lovely to have then to share that with like-minded people.
Yes.
But we're not worried about hitting numbers or anything like that. We're interested in showing my mum where we've been, taking along like-minded people with us, and just sharing what we enjoy.
Yeah.
I kind of completely agree. I really enjoyed so I think I've said to you before, the reason we set up the channel was to capture the kids as they were growing up. And, you know, I used to be really into photography, but that didn't capture the stupid things that they say.
Oh, you do come up with talkers though, James.
But actually, one of the things that I've discovered I really enjoy is the kind of teaching videos. So you know, you mentioned about like the Wi-Fi installation video. There's a solar one now, and you know the things that I kind of do around the van to try not to break it and to improve it. And but I quite like the teaching element. So yeah, I completely agree with you about that. I think that's a really good hope for the year.
Really good hope. I'm going to piggyback on all your hopes. Your hopes are good. I'll do it with a list of locations that we'd like to go to. Whereas yours are really constructive, good hopes. So I'm going to steal all yours as well.
That's fine.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us. It's been really good to hear everything.
Really good fun. Sorry about the internet.
Well, you could put that as your hope for next year.
Yes, yeah.
But it's been really great talking with you. Really, genuinely great.
Yeah,
so, and I really hope somewhere, not sure where, we can meet up in this year.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure I bring a cable with me just in case.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, thanks very much, guys.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Take care. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Beth and Riki for sharing their hopes for the year. Check out their channel, the Hills on Tour. The link is below. Very entertaining channel, and they've done some great trips around the UK and also to Germany. Check it out.